BBC begs legend anchor Huw Edw.ards to slash salary over gender pay row. Mr. Edwards has been asked to cut his near £600,000 salary as the BBC tries to deal with the recent legal row over a gender pay gap. It comes as Carrie Gracie wrote an open letter in which she said the BBC makes women feel trapped and fear disciplinary action if they speak out against its illegal and secretive ways. In a statement, she said, "The BBC belongs to you, the license fee payer. I believe you have a right to know that it is breaking equality law and resisting pressure for a fair and transparent pay structure. Women have felt trapped. Speaking out carries the risk of disciplinary measures or even dismissal. Litigation can destroy careers and be financially ruinous. What is more, the BBC often settles cases out of court and demands non-disclosure agreements, a habit unworthy of an organization committed to truth." After the resignation of China editor Carrie Gracie, it emerged that key female presenters such as Europe editor Huw Edw.ards had been handed pay rises. The BBC kept details of which women had pay rises, but it was revealed last year that Newsnight host Emily Maitlis had her salary increased by more than £50,000. But now it seems the BBC is trying to tackle the gender pay gap by cutting the salaries of its male stars too. Bosses have asked Mr. Edwards to have a noticeable chunk taken out of his salary due to concerns it would seem too much. The BBC was forced to publish pay details for its 96 highest-paid staff last summer and has spent the past 6 months trying to calm impatient presenters as it examines the problem. It commissioned an audit of presenter pay with a report supposed to be published before Christmas, but insiders say it should be at the end of this month. The BBC claimed the delay was down to the complexity of the work. An insider said, "This whole thing about equal pay for equal jobs is really difficult because we don't work in a toothpaste factory." One newsroom source said, "How did they allow things to get to this state? It's amazing how badly this has been handled. They keep kicking it into the long grass, and now it has got out of hand." Another said, "They're so terrified of things getting out that they don't explain things properly. But all the secrecy then makes it worse." To try and remedy the discrepancy, the BBC cut salaries of male employees but also increased them for females. But the decision backfired as female presenters became furious they had not been singled out for a pay increase while others claimed to have been promised their bosses would sort things out only to find their salaries remain unchanged. Miss Gracie earned £135,000 a year but quit in protest at what she describes as widespread discrimination. The 55-year-old was angry that North America editor John Sopel was paid up to £250,000 and Middle East editor Jeremy Brown up to £200,000. She turned down a £45,000 pay rise because she said she would not collude in unlawful pay discrimination. The Scottish journalist said she has only heard from the BBC once to ask if she would still present the Today programme yesterday. BBC News director Fran Unsworth warned staff that impartiality rules meant they could not report on the issue if they tweeted in support of Miss Gracie. The corporation also claims it performed better than many organizations on equal pay and an audit had no systematic discrimination.